There are two types of equations we find usually in Algebra 1 level. The linear equation, like x minus 3 equals 7. That problem is fairly simple to solve. You would just add 3 to both sides and answer x equal 10. You would only expect one answer from a linear equation. A quadratic equation has a second degree power, and there's a good chance you will have two answers to this. Factoring is a possible way to solve this. First step in this is to combine like terms. If the right side of this equation had been 3x plus 6x squared minus 7x squared, we would have combined the x squares right away and got 3x, 6x minus 7x is negative 1x squared. And then we get the terms we have. So that's the combining. Now, we want to add something or subtract something from both sides of the equation to get 0 on one side. It is good if you can possibly get the x squared term to have a positive coefficient. That, in this particular problem, can be done by adding x squared to both sides instead of trying to subtract 2x squared. So that would give us a positive 3x squared on the left, and our goal here was to get 0 on one of the sides, and the process that we did right here did get us 0. The next step is factoring. We will factor the non-zero side. That would be the 3x squared minus 11x minus 4. You'll notice that 3x squared minus 11x minus 4 can be a difficult factoring problem. The 3x and the x's are fairly obvious choices, but your choices for this product here to be negative 4, there's multiple different options here. The one that happens to work is positive 1 here and negative 4 there, because then the middle two terms will add up to a negative 11x. So that's a quick factoring. The next step is to take each factor, that would be the 3x plus 1, and set it equal to 0, and the other factor, x minus 4, set it equal to 0. You notice one of these has to be 0. The product of the two, when you multiply these two terms, you get 0, so one of them has to be 0. Now it becomes two linear equations to be solved, and the first one by subtracting 1 and then dividing by 3, and then the second, the green highlighted equation, all we have to do is add 4 to both sides. So we get two answers. X equals negative 1/3, x equals 4. We can check these by plugging the values back into the original equation. I recommend that you plug the 4 back into the original equation, not one of the equations during the step process.